Daily grind number 9. Just a quick summary of where we're at. We got as high as number 14 in the world, had a little back-to-back versus Galacticos, 1-2-0, and then he was able to hold on to an early goal lead. Unfortunately, we missed some chances in there. You know how that goes. Every once in a while you have those games, right? But for the most part, as you see us scroll down here from the start of Premier League on, we've done very well, right? Which has allowed us to climb to number 17 in the world, and we will keep climbing after the showdown, which I'm currently 4-0. Stay tuned for that review. Will be coming. I wanted to show you the squad real quick. The latest pickup. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. I did announce it in a previous video. Virgil van Dijk. He's been outstanding. Some people don't like his lower pace, but for me, I haven't had one single issue where attackers are outrunning him because of his lower pace. In fact, his near perfect defensive skill setting has shown tremendously. He is a beast. Not quite as OP as he is in EAFC if you come from over there, but he is absolutely OP, and he is now anchoring our backline with Van de Ven, another must-have defender, and Tchouaméni, who is fantastic, especially as he's got those stat boosts, both at CDM and center back if you go 5-back, right? Or even a 3-back, you know. But let's get into it. A lot of these games, as you can see, are not against Premier League opponents just because the first 5 minutes, they'll look for the Premier League matchups. If after that 5 minutes, no Premier League opponents available, you face whoever. But shout out to some of these players, very good players. I'm starting to get familiar with these other players kind of at the top of the line, if you will. This player right here did an excellent job of taking the lead. Gave up some unlucky goals, as you've seen right there. One where my defender decided to run it in when he clearly could had time to clear it out. But we got within a goal, which you're going to see here. Good individual run, end up getting the corner. Holland dunks in the corner, but unfortunately after that, the opponent decided to just hold the ball in the backfield and just keep it. Can't do nothing when an opponent decides to do that. They get the 3-2 victory. But other than a few slip-ups like this, right, we've done a very good job to just keep climbing, and we will continue that after this showdown, right? As far as my team goes, I love it. I've been trying to gear more towards getting ready for this patch, right? Still competing to win, but keeping, in my hindsight that pretty soon here we're going to have to switch it up, get used to this other style of play. I don't want to be one of those players that's just shell-shocked and starting from ground zero. I want to have a good base ready for not having some of these OP mechanics, right? So with that being said, so far the game plan has worked quite well. Mixing in a 5-2-3, right, with a 4-5-1, because one of the biggest reasons the 5-2-3 works so well is because of that big L1 triangle switch. And it doesn't mean it's not going to be viable once this patch happens, the 5-2-3, but I want to be fully prepared, and the 4-5-1 is excellent. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and watch my video on the 4-5-1, which is a defensive unit, right, with those 3 flat center mids that you can easily toggle between in that linear setup with the 3 center mids, and they spearhead your defensive efforts while also being a very dynamic and very potent attacking formation, even though it doesn't look like it. Once you add in the settings that I've included, it becomes just a beast of an attacking formation too. So I strongly suggest you at least check it out, see what you think, and then if you like it, definitely adopt it, tweak it to how you can utilize it with your play style, and if not, so be it, right? But the name of the game is keep improving, keep grinding, keep having fun, and I will do the same. I'll keep providing you with content to hopefully help you out. So until next time, have a good one. Welcome everybody to Daily Grind episode 10. It's been a little minute. Took a little break up to the patch. Dealt with that crazy bug. If you want to look at more into that, check out my previous videos. I don't want to speak too much on it, but I will tell you, I play that player next in here, and spoiler alert, he gets 0 shots on goal. We'll go through that in a minute, though. This is another one of those players. So we go back and forth. I beat him just on the stuff that is on my videos, going back through my game history that I share on these daily grinds. I've beat him over 60 times. So, okay, I get you're mad, but I mean, this guy goes to a whole nother level. And I want you to see something in this game here and see what I deal with. He's one of the ones that's a potential cheater. I have no clue. Some people saying it's a disconnect cheat. Other people are saying it's a game. But either way, it's such a glitchy game with him every time. Maybe it's just his location. Either way, I just dominate him every time. And I want to show you kind of the games. But first, this needs to be patched out of the game. Yes, it's the only goal I score against him in this game. Despite a million shots, you can see there that was halftime. Pause that and take a look. That's how it goes every game. At the end of it, most players are maybe 1 or 2 shots. I'll have like 12, and there'll be goalkeepers will save every great opportunity, but then they still have the head flicks on the corners. So you can lose to a ratty opponent that just gets 1 or 2 corners. And you'll see it almost happens to me. I was able to pull out a victory in a huge way later, but it's one of those things on those corners where they need to get rid of them because, yes, I use them, but it hurts me way more because I'm always the player that's dominating, that's skilled. But with how good the goalies are and sometimes with the glitchiness of the game, you can be punished by those corners. So even though you see me score it there, you'll see me score 1 or 2 later. Trust me, they need to remove them. Typically speaking, the more skilled player is going to be hurt when a less skilled player has a chance to score a goal like this. Now, on first glance, it looks normal, right? Look at this on second glance. Easy tackle here, and my player just stopped. Did you see that? I had my player, I pulled Van de Ven in with my AI assist, just like you're supposed to do, and he just stopped. Then look at this. Van Dijk has a chance to intercept the ball. He just stops. Look at that. So you guys, I know, like, if I didn't slow that down, it's hard for you to see at first glance, but this is the type of stuff that happens with this player all the time if it's not that disconnecting, and it's hard to think, like, there's no way this player is playing like this and then angry. This is why I beat him over 60 times, because he literally dribbled into my defender there. I mean, that was a terrible play that he got rewarded. This, his only shot on goal the entire game. So, yes, I scored on a corner. That's a glitchy corner. But when you get 12 shots on goal, and you'll see these are the type of chances I create. And then when you're done, go back and watch that goal again. Easy tackle on that. Easy tackle. And look at 90 minutes. 1 shot on target out of 2. I had 5 shots on target out of 8. Look at the rest of the stats. I mean, it's just nonsense, but he gets a tie because of what? 99.99% of the time, my defender, makes that tackle. I mean, he literally got rewarded for terrible dribbling. He dribbled right into my Van de Ven, and I tricked him right into it. I pressured him with Camavinga, I think it was, right into my center back. I mean, it was textbook play. There you see a beautiful goal by Holland. This is the trade jack, okay? This is the guy who I showed the disconnect video on, and some people said that's for sure a cheat. Here's what he's doing. He got on and said, no way, it's something with the game. The game did disconnect once with him, and it was literally like the only time it happened today. But luckily, it didn't affect the outcome this time. You see there the stats again. And like I said earlier, this game ends with 0 shots on goal for him to like a bunch for me. But see, you see another one of those glitch goals, but 95% of the time, I'm playing the right way, and it's just I'm not getting the chances to finish, whereas my opponent will get 0 shots, 1 shot, and you see what happens. They get some glitchy nonsense that Santa, Mamba, whatever scored. So sometimes the lucky bounces are good. You see there, 0 shots on target, 0 shots, period. Right? You see all the stats all the way down. 11 shots, 9. So I'm going for a goal. I'm working on trying to finish. I'm playing good football. But the goalies make outrageous saves now on just about everything. And then it's just sad that these corners have to be a decision maker and can sometimes go against you. And it's sad that whatever happened against that Santa Mamba that last game, I mean, dribbling into my defender, and then Van Dijk, who's a great tackler, just stopping and giving him his 1 shot on goal the whole game, and he ties it. So, I mean, you can imagine it's frustrating. And a lot of these guys are talkers, and it's ridiculous because you can go through. I put the game at the end sped up so you can see just how bad I beat that Santa Mamba or whatever his name is. But I sped it up so you can watch it if you want to. It's painstaking because it's a glitchy game and the kid just has 0 skill. And I'm saying that just because he's not a good person. Otherwise, I would just say good game and move on. But I wanted to show you this game. This is another YouTuber dagger. And man, oh man, this is where the corners almost got me. So I dominate in this game as well, right? He has a few moments here and there, but I dominate and it just picks up and picks up and picks up all the way to where he tied it. Okay? So I put this whole game in here for a reason because it's a great game to break down. Because it's essentially what I'm going through every single game. That was a good ball there by him. I think he probably held sprint there. If he lets go of sprint and R1, just holds R1, or just left sticks there, he might have had a chance. But when you get excited and you hold sprint, that's when that big touch happens. You see how Mbappe's more controlled. I'm working on the through balls because sometimes I can get them to go off. Yeah, it's very touchy, and they do need to rework their through balls, but I found some methods to use it, and I'm still working on it. You seen there, it didn't work out, but at certain angles, that through ball can be deadly. So anyway, I think this was my through ball. How did Holland not finish this? He didn't even cheat his keeper over. I was looking. If he would have cheated his keeper, I was going to go near post. He didn't cheat his keeper. I put that thing as close to upper 90 as you can. You see I go for the glitchy corner, and it gets blocked. If that defender wasn't there, I mean, Son scores that. But again, you'll see why I have to use it in a little bit in this game. I mean, that exact thing almost takes me out. And it's just pure domination, and then my opponent will get one of those. Or it's pure domination, and then that glitchy goal that Santa whatever scored. So again, if you go back and rewind and just watch that in slow motion, you'll see just how awful it was. 2 times. One time he dribbles into my defender. The other time, after he made the through ball, Van Dijk has an easy tackle, and it just, in both cases, they just stopped. And if it's not the disconnect thing with that player, that Santa Mamba, or however you say it, it's something else. So you know how it's always those same type of cheaters, right? And people wonder why you get frustrated and mad, but when you're putting time in and you're doing things the right way, right? Everyone can say this and that, but I'm playing football the right way. I mean, like I said, I put the entire game at the end sped up, and you can watch it yourself and see. I mean, it's just, anybody would be frustrated playing a player like that. And then because he's mad because I beat him most of the time, he gets onto Reddit and he'll say something bad, or someone else will get on my channel and post something because they're angry about me beating them. But now the patch is here. I'm playing good football, and you see what I have to deal with. These guys continue to try the L1 triangle. Guys, it's not coming back. I hate to say it to you. I know you might get 1 out of like 10 to connect on those L1 triangles, but for the most part, it's gone. Move on, right? The corners, you get to hang on those for a little while. I'll commit you with them just the same. And sometimes it's just going to be games like this. Once they get rid of those, though, I may never lose again. Kind of joking, but kind of serious. I know there's some good players, but for the most part, this is the kind of nonsense. I'll win games, and then I'll like tie that one that easily should have been a win against that Santa Mamba or whatever. And then this game, one of the rare games where, being the better player actually, you got rewarded for it. And I shouldn't say that, because sometimes being the better player you get rewarded, but it's only because you got like some glitchy corner goals like you seen against that Trey Jack. He had 0 shots the whole game to my 11, right? So I definitely deserved to win, but look, 1 goal is beautiful by Holland. That first one, if you rewind and look, it was beautiful build-up, beautiful goal. But the other 2 I scored against that Trey Jack were glitchy goals, right? However, if you look at the overall game, it's like, man, I had so many great chances where the goalie made crazy saves, and then, I almost gave up a couple glitchy goals myself. So at the end of it, you look at it and go, I wish those things weren't in the game, but they did. While these goalies are outrageous on some of these shots, at least you got the win like you deserved, right? So then we look at this game. 0-0, we go into the second half. And I just want to show you it all the way through. Stats weren't totally outrageous in this one. I think I was 2 shots to his 1. He did pretty good at stopping me just about this area of the field. Like if you speed up the game and watch it to this point, it was a lot in this area. And then we get the beautiful Holland finish there. And I want you to take a look. If you want to rewind, it started from my box. I built it all the way up. And all I did there, this will slow down and show you. So I played Holland's feet there. He plays out wide. Right, so now Holland's a little bit behind the play. You see Son there doesn't take off running, even though Holland, um, came back. He kind of just stays there, which is a little bit odd. Usually he would take off running, and that's who I'd be playing here. But you seen his wingbacks were way pushed up. Holland kept a beautiful run, and he had just one center back that was further back than the other. I timed it off of him, and we end up with a perfect goal. Brilliant stuff there. And essentially, if you're going by regular goals, that would have been enough to win it right there. Right? I know I'm kind of playing spoiler, leading you up to this crazy ending as I talk about, as you're watching this game, I'm talking about overall, but this is kind of the feel of the game. I love how we can play football. There's that through ball I'm telling you about. Now, that was a little bit of weight on it. You can get those nice little dink ones, but man, is it hard to time them right. You know, I'd say I'm at the point where I'm getting about 60% of them on the real short ones that I want to do, but the other 40% go flying like usual. Here's another one that should have been a finish. Unbelievable. Another beautiful ball. His defenders just kept not marking my runs. And on the bounce, it would have been a beautiful finish to end the game right there. And I just start dominating them. I mean, you've been seeing I've been dominating them this whole half, but it gets real bad. It's just, unfortunately, we get kind of caught up in this area here. For whatever reason, against Dagger, there's a lot of different times in the game it gets glitchy. I don't know where he lives. Obviously, I don't know where he lives, but I just know, and you see it too. He does a stream, and I went to check it out because at first I literally thought he was one of the. I thought he was like a cheater because you should feel some of the differences in the games, and it starts to feel that way in these games too. And I don't know if it's because he streams usually. He wasn't streaming tonight though. I thought for sure he was. And you see him miss there. He gets robbed there. He overpowered it. Once it took that bigger touch, all he had to do was just tap it. But he overpowered it, not realizing, it was going to bounce a little bit ahead. I'm assuming, meaning like if he would have shot it with that power a little bit further out, but the bounce was a little bit further ahead. So by the time Holland caught up to it with the power he had put on it, it pushed it wide. So it happens, but he definitely should have scored on that one without a doubt, and it would have been 2-1 if I finished both mine and he finished that. So far all regular goals. That's what I'm kind of keeping track. So far no glitchiness or OP mechanics, let's say. And then it starts here, right? Now I get on the receiving end of the nonsense. And look, I'm marking it too. I know what's coming. I fronted him on both sides, and he still got there. Just like I got my Son shot block. He was a little too far out. My keeper makes the save. So we're even on him now. And then this happens. He goes the back post way. Camavinga awful at headers. But watch what happens in the replay. Now, that's one of the reasons, just so you guys know, I don't know if I've ever said this, but I'm debating getting Rodri for that reason. Sometimes Camavinga has to go in the air, and he just doesn't win him. He's terrible in the air, but everything else he's good at. Typically, his offense isn't that good. But you'll see here, tragedy, I pull my goalie way out, okay? But this time, well done, Van de Ven. He's got Air King. I fronted Holland, like I told you guys, worked out perfect. Right, as long as you front him at the near post. Problem is, the last one, he found a perfect match with Holland. I couldn't get my right guy over to mark him. That was kind of my fault. I was worried about the near post too much. Otherwise, I would have put, Van Dijk or someone on him. And then he does this nonsense. 9 times out of 10, the goalie comes back and catches that. Maybe it's because I sold Allison and went down to Tivano. Who knows what it was, but usually when I pull my goalie out like that to get those glitchy corners, after I mark the front post, he'll catch those. Even the ones that are going near the goal like that, they'll go to the back, and he'll kind of run towards the goal and grab them. Or at the very least, my players are good at winning those. Of course, for him, though, it comes down. He gets his second glitchy goal, but I wasn't about to stop. Camavinga makes a beautiful tackle, and finishes with his left foot. He's a lefty, so beautiful finish on his strong foot after making the tackle himself. So he more than makes up for getting beat in the air. But his weak aerial presence is one of the reasons why I might want to get Rodri, and I need him 99% of the time for defense. But look at the 1% of the time I do need him to do something. He ties it up, beautiful stuff, and we did not give up in this game. We got 2 glitchy goals scored on us after dominating, right? And then Camavinga comes, one of the least likely people you would think to tie it. And so I said, I'm not leaving here without a result. We keep pushing for it. You see, these aren't the best areas to be in anymore. Back with the L1 square cross. And it's so funny because the defenders are still worrying about the cross, almost like they have deja vu from the past. But you don't got to worry about the cross anymore. You got to worry about me taking you in line. But the funny thing is, if you rewind that back, and I had to make him suffer and watch this, right? You saw me in the other two. I went right through the replay, but you put 2 cheese goals on me. I'm going to make you watch my game winner on the last touch of the game. Look at this. He gives me the respect on the line because he didn't want to give me a corner kick. And I kind of expected that as I had it in the corner. I thought about going outwards towards the top of the box, right? To work it around that way. And he had so many bodies. And I realized, I'm either going to get a corner and try to win off of the cheese ball goal, which would have done it justice, with how he did me, or he's going to back off me, which I just had that, in those split seconds, your thought process slows down when you're in the zone. And I thought he's going to back off me because he doesn't want to give me a corner. And I had Haaland at that near post. Sure enough, he backs off. Messi plays it. Haaland's ready for the one-timer. We get the game winner. Now, this crazy fast thing you're seeing in the background is this game versus Santa Bamba, whatever, where he had one shot the whole game to my 11. And he scores an absolute ugly, glitchy goal where he dribbles into my defender. For some reason, Van de Ven decides I'm not going to make the tackle. I did the play perfectly defensively, right? If you stopped and watched in slow motion, did it perfectly. Pressured with my player, pulled my AI presence on him. He dribbles right into him, right? Rookie move by him, but he gets rewarded because Van de Ven doesn't tackle. Then he plays a through ball. Okay, it goes rolling slowly. Van Dijk, for one, probably could have intercepted the ball himself, but he also could have made the tackle afterwards. And he does either one. He just kind of slowed down, stopped, and watched Darwin Núñez finish to tie it up. And I end up with a tie in a game that I just totally dominated. The reason why I played it fast like this is because I don't know if you guys want to watch this nonsense. It's not like a good game. It's real glitchy. It gets real ugly. The Dagger Sports one at times had a bad connection, but the Santa Mamba kid, it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like he plays for that reason, right? Because anything skilled he cannot do. And those are the ones who drive me crazy. But like I said, I beat him over 60 times. It's not even that about that, or that he gets mad about it. I get it. I beat him a lot. He gets mad. It's just about how he plays. It's like if I turned this game on and was sharing this and all you saw from me was just nonsense, glitchy, not really, and not skill at all, you guys would be going, why are you even sharing this nonsense, right? And so that's how I feel about these. I mean, no shots the entire game, and then you've scored some glitchy nonsense, and I don't know, it's crazy to me, some people, and he'll be the first one to talk. He was, right? He was the one, wait till the post-patch, you're not going to be able to play anymore, and it's like, yeah, you see why I have to do these cheesy corners, right? Because I'll play good football 95% of the game, and they'll score 2 cheesy corners on me, so it's like you have to respond with the glitches yourself, otherwise you can't compete for those reasons. And these games are perfect examples. Go back through the Dagger game again, and you can see I play good football, passing football, score good goals, and I still almost lost the game, right? And then that Trajack one, that one shot he had the whole game, if I didn't do that corner kick, despite my 12 good shots where his goalie's making outrageous saves and he gets that one nonsense goal would have beat me. So anybody who's argues oh, you shouldn't use them just because they're in the game, be the bigger man, don't use them. And then UFL gets rid of them, it's all good. But in the meantime, before UFL does get rid of them, If you want to compete, you have to use them, and these games are a perfect example, right? But the way I justify it is that, as you can see, I am playing good football. It's just that's in the game. My opponent's for sure going to abuse it. So my only answer is to when I have those opportunities, I have to utilize them too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to play at the level that I play at. So that being said, I hope this was entertaining. Let it be known that we have a great setup, a great system with this 4-4-1-1, which also the settings can translate to the 4-2-3-1 wide or narrow, or the 4-4-1-1 cam, which is in the game 4-4-1-1 midfield, right? I have the regular one with the striker. Once I get that skill point to make son a cam, I'll go to the 4-2-3-1 narrow. Just because, like I said, with the wingers, I like them a little pinched in, but even if nothing else, if you just saw the great interplay you can have with that formation, it absolutely cooks. If you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and watch my latest meta formation video. See what you think, and keep grinding, keep having fun. Until next time, we'll see you later.